It began with a sound that wasn't loud, but still froze me in place. Not the dramatic howling sirens from crime shows. These were faint, almost polite, but they sent a chill up my spine. When I opened the door, 2 officers stood on my front step, their expressions sharp and unreadable. One's hand hovered over his holster. The other spoke calmly, but with a weight that landed like a punch. "Sir, we found a child alone in your vehicle. We need you to come with us." For a second, my brain simply refused to process it. Bitter coffee still coated my tongue as I blinked, searching for words that wouldn't come. Finally, something hollow slipped out. I don't have a child." Their brows knit in confusion. Before I could make sense of what was happening, cold steel closed around my wrists. I didn't resist. Some cracked. Tired part of me thought, maybe I'd finally lost my grip on reality, that this was the end result of years of quiet chaos. 2 years earlier, my world had already collapsed, not with shouting or shattered dishes, but in silence, one unlocked phone, a thread of messages full of someone else's laughter, photos of trips I'd never taken. Her smile in those pictures was alive in a way it hadn't been with me for years. That was the moment I realized I'd been living a half-life. We'd been together since we were teenagers. I thought that meant something, meant permanence. In reality, it only meant years of me holding her hair back when she was sick, building her shells at midnight, letting my ambitions wilt so hers could bloom. I poured myself out like loose change, convinced love was about giving until it hurt. She never seemed to bleed. I learned to fake smiles, to say, "I'm fine," while pieces of me crumbled. I was the rock, the steady one, even when it broke me. And when the warning signs appeared, her phone face down, the coldness in her touch, I stayed quiet. I needed her to stay more than I needed to feel whole. Then came the tattoo, a clock on her lover's wrist. Time wasted, my time, my life. I didn't explode. I didn't rage. I planned. Quietly moved money, hired a lawyer, cut ties one thread at a time. When I finally filed, she looked at me like I was a betrayer. That somehow was the deepest cut. I left her in a house echoing with ghosts and unpaid bills, walked out without a scene. And now here I was, accused of abandoning a child I'd never fathered. At the station under harsh lights, a young detective told me the boy knew my name, called me Daddy. That word, after everything, nearly buckled me. Then they showed me his picture. Big, round eyes, a halo of curls. He could have been mine if life had turned out differently. It hit me then. He wasn't mine by blood, but by circumstance. She'd given him my surname for convenience. Doctors, schools, paperwork. After the divorce, she'd never changed it. And now she had a new man, one who left the boy in a car outside a club while she partied. When the child cried, that man panicked, drove to my old address, and abandoned him in my parked car. The police didn't know. Neither did the boy. In his world, I was the only father he'd ever heard of. They eventually untangled the mistake, muttered apologies, shuffled papers. But I barely heard them. All I could think about was him. This small person left behind, like I once was. That night, whiskey in hand. Sitting in the dark, I realized I could just walk away. I owed her nothing, but his eyes haunted me. I remembered what it felt like to be a child waiting for someone who never came back. So I did something that surprised even me. I filed for emergency guardianship. She fought, of course, snarling, crying, putting on her usual performance. But I arrived with proof, records, statements, every detail lined up. In court, she flinched under the weight of it. Her new man never showed. Her own mother stayed silent as the judge handed me temporary custody. I didn't smile. I just exhaled. For the first time in years, not for myself, but for him. Now he calls me Dad again. Not the scared, uncertain way he did the first time, but soft, steady, real. I'm far from perfect. I never will be. But I show up. I listen. I choose to break the cycle. Even if it costs me. She reaches out occasionally. Not to him, never to him, but to me. Maybe guilt, maybe boredom, maybe just to see if she still has any hold left. She doesn't. That man, the quiet, desperate version of me, died in silence. What's left is someone rebuilt from the wreckage. Someone forged, not broken. And because of him, the boy she left behind, I'm not just surviving anymore. I'm becoming.